eating out on vacation. You know, now's the time of year. Summer's rolling around here. You know, 4th of July is coming up this weekend. You know, what do you do when it comes to like vacation and eating out and things like that? Like what happens with the diet? I think we should give the listeners our strategies as far as like what to do when it comes to eating out.
Yeah, well, again, if you bring it back to the actual dieting recommendations that we follow, as far as, whatever you want to call it, we're not going to give it a name today, but the strategies that we use, if you kind of understand the principles, doing things on the fly becomes much easier. And a lot of times people don't look for principles, they look for just tell me exactly what to do, and yeah, that can work, but until you run into a scenario like you said, you're out, you're at a party, you're eating out at a restaurant, it's not going to have the exact option that you had on your plan. Now you have to think on the fly, and people lose that ability to think on the fly because they don't follow principles, they follow the actual plan. So everything I do is based on principles, So if I know I need to get a certain amount of calories, a certain amount of protein, carbs, fats, and again, if we're talking about micronutrients, if we're talking about potassium, things like that, great example of how you could take flexible dieting and go deeper with it. If I know, okay, I need a certain amount of protein, carbs, or fats when I go out, but I also know I'm aiming to hit a certain amount of micronutrients, I need fiber, I need potassium, that's going to make me pick choices in the diet or on the menu that have those things in them. So like if I need protein and carbs, let's say, but I also need to hit a fiber intake goal, I need to hit a potassium intake goal, I'm probably going to choose something like a steak, a potato, and broccoli, let's just say.
Well, hold on, wait, I want to just stop, pause for a second. When he's talking about that, doesn't mean that's necessarily the case for everybody.
No.
Like for me, I don't really need to worry about potassium, so it's not something that I would look for when I'm going out to eat. For me, it's more like protein intake and whatever, but I'll come on in a second. Just go ahead and continue.
You can apply that to any scenario. So if you go in there, let's just say you are following, people like to talk about keto diets, people, that's like a big thing people like to follow. Let's just say you're following a keto diet, okay, the principle is I need a certain amount of protein and a certain amount of fat. You're going to pick things off the menu that meet those goals. You know what I mean? And, if your plan just says I have to eat this and you don't know how to think about it on the fly, you're going to say, well, they don't have it on the menu, so I guess I'll order pizza.
Yeah.
And that's what most people do.
Yeah.
But if you understand the principles, you can apply it to any scenario.
Yeah, I think, one of the things when you're out to eat, people look for, they ask these questions and then they're like, oh, well, I'm out to eat right now. They don't have what the strategy that you said you recommended. They don't have grilled chicken on the menu, so I'm just going to get, and then they end up getting like the opposite thing.
Right.
So it's like, you're out, you get flustered because you don't know what to order. They don't have the things that you want on the menu. So just F it, and then you have anything that you want. And that's where I think it becomes problematic when you're out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And remember, any restaurant will modify anything that you ask for. So if they have a chicken dish on the menu, they'll modify that for you. So listen, can I have it grilled? More than likely nowadays, they'll definitely modify it for you.
Yeah, and a good thing to do when you're making those decisions, if you don't know what the right choice is, you just ask yourself, okay, if on my plan I'm supposed to be eating, let's just say chicken and rice or chicken and broccoli, whatever it is, ask yourself, okay, why am I eating chicken and broccoli? And then the answer, if you dig a little deeper, is okay, we're going for a protein source, we're going for maybe a low calorie filler just for something for satiation purposes, so we're going to fill that meal with some broccoli, So then you make your decision based on the menu. Okay, what is the highest protein content food in here? That's all.
When it comes to actually like dieting out and when you're on vacation, like what are the strategies that you use? So one of the things that I really implemented this the last time I went away to Florida with the family was, Uber Eats was really, really helpful actually. So one of my favorite places to eat out is Chick-fil-A, regardless of where it is. It's really easy to do well at Chick-fil-A. The grilled chicken nuggets are really good. They have their grilled chicken sandwich. So utilizing, a little kitchenette inside the hotel room that we had was clutch because obviously you can make breakfast there. You go to the store. We had Amazon, Amazon has food delivery. So we delivered food to the room, so like grocery stuff. So I didn't have to go food shopping. I delivered it to the room. So I had my breakfast there. I was able to prepare lunch, and then dinner obviously we ate out. But like I said, utilizing Chick-fil-A, having those grilled chicken nuggets and things like that was able to help me hit my protein intake. And that was probably the best I've ever done on vacation as far as getting really, really close to my goals and being in control of what I was actually eating. Because most of the time we go on vacation, we just kind of shut off, right? We're like, I'm on vacation, whatever. And you kind of loosen up a little bit, which is cool, and it's okay to do that. It's not like a bad thing, but you just want to prevent yourself from overdoing it. Because a couple of days on vacation, you could really screw everything up, even if you're all good.
Of course, yeah.
Because most of these places just cook with like oils and everything is added calories.
If you're ordering what you're ordering, you're getting something else also.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing when you go away is plan ahead and don't go somewhere where you don't have control over it. You know, like if you go to an all-inclusive resort, you're pretty much stuck with eating whatever it is they're going to serve you, you know? So if you like you said, if you could take those extra steps and get a place that has a kitchenette, you know, you're in a place where you could actually order food. You know, you go to an all-inclusive resort, it's not like you're going to be ordering Uber Eats, you know, to the resort.
Well, if you want to talk about that, I've been to those places all the time. What do I do when I go there? I always bring my protein powder with me.
I have to.
I always bring it with me. That's like my breakfast all the time. The 2 scoops, I bring it with me, and that always helps me. And then you just have to see. I think the thing is when people go to an all-inclusive resort, they put in their mind it's all-inclusive. So I can eat everything. Right. I'm supposed to eat everything.
And they want to get their money's worth. So they're like, I paid for all this. I'm going to eat till I'm stuffed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat till I'm content.
You want to get your money's worth? You have to make sure that you tell them, like, hey, look, I want this cooked this way. Like, they'll do it for you, too. They don't care. The last time I went to an all-inclusive resort, what I would do for breakfast is, because breakfast is, like, the worst, right? Especially at, like, those places. Because what do they have? Pancakes, this, that, and the other thing. The egg white, like, omelet station. They'll give you egg whites, but it's like pouring oil all over the place.
There's probably more oil in the egg whites.
They hate me when I go to those places. So I always tell them I want hard-boiled eggs, and I fill up a bowl of hard-boiled eggs.
That's like the only option, actually.
Yeah. So actually what I was doing was I start with the big bowl of hard-boiled eggs. Huge bowl. Like 10, 20 egg whites. So I start with that. By the time I'm done peeling that, and it takes like a lot of time, you know, everybody else is usually like done eating by the time I finish the egg whites. Then I'll go and I'll get like a huge plate of watermelon because it's super low in like calories, and it'll keep me fuller longer. And like I try to get things that are not cooked, but like things that are like that, like watermelon, pineapple, like that kind of food where it's not like over calorie dense. Because you're gonna those extra calories are gonna sneak in no matter what.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so that's like a really good strategy to use too, and just like using more of those like filler foods. And I actually did a video on my channel of like 9 foods that are like kind of filler foods that help you stay full when you're dieting. And those foods, like, you know, again, if you're going to an all-inclusive resort, they always have a salad bar. So just putting that huge plate of like lettuce in front of you and just eating that huge thing of like lettuce just to fill up your stomach first makes a huge difference, because then you're not going back there like, all right, I'll get the chicken palm hero for lunch.
Right. Yeah, you never want to be in a position where you're starving either.
No.
You know, especially when you're out. You know, it's easy when you're on vacation to go however many hours between meals and not realize it. You know, you might have a normal routine at home where you eat, you know, 3, 4, 5 meals a day. Very easy when you go on vacation, eat breakfast, go out for the day, come back and it's dinner time. And the last thing you're thinking about is, oh, can I get egg whites? You know, can I get that cooked with no oil? You know, you're going to go in there, you're going to be hungry, you're going to say, whatever you got, give it to me, I got to eat.
Yeah.
That's the situation most people run into.
Yeah, and you have to just control yourself. I think that's one of the things. You have to control yourself and get out that negative talk. Because like even like I'm talking about this now with you, and in my mind I'm like, you're on vacation.
Right. Yeah, it's easy to put, especially when you're surrounded by people that you're with who want to embrace that I'm on vacation mentality. You know, so if you're the only one in the group that you know says I want to stick to my diet while I'm on vacation, it becomes more difficult. But you know, I got to tell you, I mean, I'm sure you experienced this too. I feel worse when I embrace that mentality. Oh, I'm on vacation. I'm going to eat whatever I'm going to eat.
Oh, way worse.
Then I feel worse. So I actually feel better keeping the mentality. Oh, I want to eat good on my vacation. I want to feel good on my vacation. Why would I want to binge eat and feel worse? Yeah, it's going to ruin my vacation.
Right, because then you're going to not feel good, your stomach's going to bother you, and then you're going to have like the side effect of like, oh, I feel so fat, and then you're going to be in a bathing suit and you're like, oh man, I feel like the fattest person on the beach.
Right.
And people are going to be like, oh, they have it disordered.
But everybody else on the beach is going to be sitting there with their eggs and their pancake in their stomach saying, I feel great.